Sunday and welcome back to my channel. This week I want to kick off a little mini series that I'm really excited about that I think is going to be really fun but also really useful, where we create the perfect summer table setting where you can host family, friends, have a beautiful table setting for you to enjoy. This is something that you could use all throughout summer but really throughout the year if you wanted to, and we're going to kind of build on these DIYs to create everything that you could need for the perfect table setting. Last week we made a really beautiful mosaic tray and coasters, and this week we're going to add to that by making some beautiful budget-friendly DIY placemats that are going to be super custom to you and your home. With that, we're also going to be making some really gorgeous gold metal napkin holders and also some linen napkins. I'm super excited to kick off this little mini series. I hope that you enjoyed this mini series. If you do, leave me a comment, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our really fun DIYs that we're going to be doing. And if you want to see how to make some placemats, napkins, and napkin holders, then stick around and watch this video and we're going to get right into it. Alright guys, so we're going to start off by making our placemats. To make our placemats you need just a couple of things. It's pretty minimal. You might have a lot of these things already on hand. So you are going to need some cork. So I went ahead and got this big tube of thin cork off of Amazon. It is double-sided. It's sticky on one side, which works well for what we're doing because we can double layer our cork and stick it together. You could use this if you want to. I'll link it for you guys if you're interested. You could also use placemats that you already have that you want to recover, or you could get cork placemats that are cut to the placemat size already on Amazon. Possibly find these at the thrift store. I got this because you get a lot of cork for not that much money, and when you get them pre-cut to placemat size, they tend to be a lot more expensive than to just get a roll like this. If you don't have placemats that you want to recover or cork mats already on hand, this is what I would suggest doing because it is going to be a lot more budget friendly. The other thing that you're going to need is either wallpaper that is not peel and stick or wrapping paper. If you want to use wallpaper, you can get wallpaper that is a new roll and just get one kind and use it for all your placemats, or you could use scraps of wallpaper from projects that you've done. I personally am going to be using wrapping paper because I didn't see any non-peel and stick wallpaper that I personally really loved for this project, and I do want my placemats to be a little bit more on the eclectic side and have them be different patterns for each of them. I went ahead and got this pack of wrapping paper. It comes with 12 sheets and it has, I think, 4 or 5 different patterns. It allows for you to be able to do a bunch of different styles of placemats and duplicates of each of the style if you want to, or you could make hot pot trays or coasters or whatever else with the extra that you wanted to, or just use it as wrapping paper. We're going to start by taking one of our wrapping paper sheets and we're going to cut our cork down to size for our placemats. What I'm going to do is cut my placemat to be slightly larger than my wrapping paper sheet because I want it to be a little bit bigger than this square that I have here, and I'm going to cut 2 of the exact same size of the cork so that I can stick the sticky sides of the cork together to get rid of the sticky sides and to make it twice as thick for my placemat. And then I'm going to do the same thing, cut my second piece. And it's nice with this one because it has this grid on the back so I can follow a straight line. Then we are going to peel the backing off and just put the 2 sticky sides together, and we can trim it up if we need to after we do that. I'm just going to match these up as best I can, and then we can trim it afterwards if we need to. Okay, not too bad. Pretty even. I'm going to trim just this tiny little edge that I have here, but it went together pretty easily. All right, so now that we have it all trimmed up, I'm going to take our sheet of wrapping paper and place our cork on top of it, and then cut our wrapping paper to be slightly larger than our cork, because then if it shrinks at all with the glue, we have a little bit of wiggle room that we can just trim off after it all dries. And we also will be doing like a top coat to this so that it's waterproof and cleanable when you're eating on it if something spills. We'll just trim around this. It doesn't have to be super straight because we will trim it up once it all dries. And then we still have all of this excess if we want to make matching coasters or something else to go with our placemat. We also have a second sheet of every one of these patterns, so we can make 2 placemats in each pattern. Now all we need to do is put some Mod Podge onto our cork and then press our wrapping paper over it and let it dry. Once it's all dry, we'll put our top coat on and our placemats will be good to go. So super simple process, really very inexpensive, definitely cheaper than a lot of the placemats that are on the market. This took us only a few minutes to do. And you can make this any size you want, any shape you want. You could round out the corners, make it a circle, an oval, whatever you want to fit your style and your design and decor, and make it super custom. And nobody else is going to have this because you literally made it and it's made from materials that placemats are not made from. We'll go ahead and put our Mod Podge down and then press out any creases in our wrapping paper.
Later on in the night, when the crowds have gone, we could talk under moonlight till dawn.
Alright guys, so it's the next day. I let our placemats dry overnight so that the glue could totally cure and be ready to go. So this is what they're looking like. Everything is holding on really well. I also went ahead, I had some extra corks and wrapping paper. So I went ahead and made some little coasters to match all of our placemats so that everybody gets a coaster with their placemat. The last step of this process is just going to be putting on our top coat. We're going to be using a gloss varnish. I'm using this one right here. It's just a Liquitex Basics acrylic gloss varnish. But any gloss varnish would work for this. And you do really need to put this top coat on because it's what is going to make your wrapping paper waterproof and make it so that you can wipe it off if there are spills. Just really protect it to make it last. This is a super simple process. We are literally just going to pour some of this onto our placemat and our coaster, wipe it with our brush, let it dry. It dries really fast, and then we'll do probably 3 coats of this and then just set it off and let it totally cure for a little while and it'll be good to go. So I'm literally just going to go like this. And the trick with this is to make sure that one, you get all of it, but also that you get the edges. So I like to take what is on my brush and run it across the edges every time I do a coat to really seal those as well, so you don't get any lifting in your wrapping paper. So we'll just brush it all over and then I just go like this and run it over the edges to make sure that it's all sealed down and protected, so no moisture or food or anything gets underneath. And then if you need a little bit more for any spots or for the edges, I like to put a little bit around the edges just to kind of brush the sides one more time. And then we'll do the exact same thing for our little coaster. All right, and then we'll just let it dry for a couple of minutes and we'll do the same exact thing to both of them 2 more times to give them 3 full coats of our gloss varnish and they'll be ready to use.
Cancel all our plans. We don't need a reason why we just can't. I wish I could stop time.
Alright guys, so for this next DIY, we're going to be making some gold napkin ring holders, and these are really useful if you use linen napkins or if you use paper napkins and you just want to make them look a little bit more fancy for like a party or a dinner that you're hosting, anything like that. We're also going to be making linen napkins in this video, so if you do both, it'll go really well together. If you just want to do this one, then you can use it with napkins that you already have. For this, you only need 3 things. We need some aluminum craft wire, which is what this is. They come in different colors, so you don't have to do it in gold if you don't want to. That's just my preference. It's really easy to work with. I will link this exact one in the description box for you if you want to use the same one so that you make sure that it's bendable and strong. You'll also need a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll, whichever you have, just something like this. Some wire cutters so that you can cut your aluminum wire. And that's it. You could use needle nose pliers for this if you want to, but personally I find it easier to just use my hands. That's what I'll be doing.
Stay with me for a little while. caught myself free falling deep into your eyes. You came to me without warning, but I knew why. I wish I could stop time and stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while? Stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while? On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name.
Alright guys, so we are going to make our linen napkins next, and that is the last DIY that we're going to work on, and then we'll be able to set our table and see what everything looks like all together. I went through the fabric that I had on hand, and I was kind of thinking about what styles I wanted to do, if I wanted to just go with a plain white linen and keep it super simple, or something patterned or dark. I came across this fabric, which is like this really pretty oranges, olives, and lemons on here. And it's just so summery and like fresh feeling. It's a really good thick material. I think it would be super durable as a napkin. All of these things just seemed perfect to me, and I felt like we're going for a summer table setting, then why not do a fun pattern napkin and really mix our patterns on our table, and then we could always pair it back with a simpler or a darker napkin for fall and winter. We're gonna go for it, and we're gonna use this fabric to make our napkins. I just think it's going to be really, really pretty. For this fabric, we have, get my tiny tape measure, 25.5 wide, about 45 long. I want to make 6 napkins because that's how many seats I have at our dining room table. So I think that would be a good number for us personally. I'm going to cut our fabric. We're going to cut out 6 pieces. We'll go from there.
Down your road and past your gates, keep your eyes on the horizon. I was looking to belong when I'd already found my home.
All right, so we have all of our pieces of fabric cut out. Now what we're going to do is set up our sewing machine. We're just going to pin our fabric over a 1/2 inch to give it a nice clean edge. Doing it this way is going to help protect your edges so that they don't fray quite as much. They may still fray in the wash right here on the edges, but they'll stop where your stitch is in your fabric, so they will be protected. If you have an overlocker, then you can totally use that and your edges will be super clean. I don't have an overlocker, so we're just going to do the best we can with the stitches that we have on my sewing machine. Another option would be to use fabric glue, and if you don't have a sewing machine and you want to sew it, you could hand stitch it too. There are definitely options with how you can do this, but it's a really, really simple sewing project. It's just going to be a straight stitch all the way around. They will be good to go. All right guys, so I got it all pinned off. We did like about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. We're just going to go ahead and sew down that seam, and we're just going to run it right along the edge here rather than higher up to kind of keep the fraying at a minimum. We'll just do this for all of them, so pretty easy.
I'm there before the setting sun, for you to fall into my arms.
All right, and then when you get to your edge, we're just going to lift up our presser foot and turn it so that we can keep one continuous stitch going, and then we'll just keep on going down.
I was looking to belong when I already found my home.
guys, our first napkin all done. You can see the seam right here. On this side, you can see where I just kind of like overlapped it right here so that it created a nice clean seam over the edge. I think it's super pretty. I think it's gonna look really nice with our table setting and especially rolled up with our napkin rings on it. I'm gonna do this 5 more times to make 6 napkins and then we'll be ready to decorate.
Looking to belong when I'd already known that you would be there when the rains are gone. Like a light in the night, you will always be my home.
Alright guys, well that wraps up this week's video. I hope that you enjoyed the start of our DIY summer table setting and making all these different pieces with me. If you give any of these a try, make sure that you let me know. I love to hear about how it turned out for you or your take on the DIYs that we do. We'll be adding to this next week by making some really pretty additions to our table setting. Make sure that you tune in next Sunday so that you can see the rest of the DIYs that we're going to be doing for our summer table essentials. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video so you can see more of the DIYs, projects, home makeovers that we do on this channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.